Hello, good evening, welcome. My name is Obinako. Um, I I was thinking of this, and I would want to share a bit with you on it. Unemployed situation, unemployed situation. When you have been without job for years, what you may want to do going forward, going forward. Unemployed situation. It is a situation and what you can do going forward. Going forward is a political term. Most of the boys who are politicians, they like using that kind of words. So going forward, what you want to do, I think it's a political term. But sorry, but it's a serious situation when you are at a stage where you are an adult and you want to find a place to work and you can find one to work, or when you have been through school, college, and your hopes were very high, and then you finish, and you're looking for a place to work as a human being, to find a job, and you print, you do a lot of CVs, you move from one company to the other, all kind of places, government, non-government, small business, big business. You look for teaching job, you move around, you look for all kind of jobs, and for years you've still not been able to find any. Every now and then you meet a friend, you meet an acquaintance, you get to get somebody to come to your office and to try to find a place that they can get a job at least to do, and you can see the desperation. It's a situation that I think that those who have been in it are the only people who can really explain the kind of pain, the kind of struggles, emotional, mentally, that they go through. That sometimes even the people who care about them may not really understand the kind of worry, the kind of things that they think about. So it's a situation, and it's not that is that it's not in a minority in terms of the situation. I think that it's a difficult situation for a lot of people, especially those that we send to colleges. Those who have gone to polytechnics, who have gone to universities, who have gone to all these agricultural colleges, all these kind of colleges, IT, MVTI, all kind of things that people have gone to. That they felt that maybe after all this training, they will come out and find a place to work. Few of them are fortunate to find a place to work, but majority of them can be at home for years, a year, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 years. And we all know somebody who's been looking for a place to have, a place to have a job, and been difficult. We can only, you know, encourage and sometimes empathize and maybe sympathize with people in this kind of situation. But I also think that there is something that if nobody does anything about you as the individual in that situation, can do something about. Because my philosophy is that uh, from the time that you finish school to the time that possibly you die, maybe 60, 70, 80, you know, if you ever wanted a place to work, I think that no matter how many years that you have been looking for a job that you have not had, I know that you will not be unemployed all your life, you know. So there is still hope for people like that. And when people find themselves in this kind of situation, they become desperate. They tend to take anything that comes. And sometimes they find themselves doing things that they never ever thought of themselves doing. But the situation that they have found themselves in, you cannot finish school and after 5 years you still go to your brother to ask for rent. You cannot finish school and after 6 years you still go to your friend to purchase, to buy food or to buy clothes. It's a situation. It's not nice. It's not good. It's painful. It's depressing. And if anybody has ever been there, it's not good situation at all. So my name is Obedako. I'm talking about unemployed situation and what when you have been without job for years. Maybe after national service you never found any place that you work. You have tried all your life. Nobody wants to employ you. Or maybe you had one, but it's like being without one. You know, maybe they don't pay you. They don't even have any work for you. You go there, you're depressed, you're not happy. And you look around, you see your friends. Some of them have good jobs. Some of them have places, things that you think you wish you had them. It's a situation. And the political term, as I said, is what you can do going forward, because it's not just the focus should not just be on the fact that you've been unemployed for years, but it should also be on the fact that what can be done, what you can do yourself. What is it that you can do? Because sometimes it's not just the situation is so difficult, but sometimes it's just how we process, how we see the situation, what we think about the situation, and what we think ourselves that we can do to change the situation. I think that is what makes it that much depressing. Not so much because you have not had job for years, but all this while, what has been the way you look, what has been the way that you have looked at the situation as somebody who has finished school, completed college, university, all this kind of SHS, JHS. Because the moment you have the strength, you are of age and you want to work, and you start to look for work and you don't get it, at least the one that you would want to be happy having, and calling it a job, and you are not getting, what is it that you can do? Because the thing is that those who have jobs easily think that everybody has something like that. Those who have it, those who are employed, those who had it, a bit maybe easier. They just finished national service. They had somebody to do some introduction for them. They had a place to work and they've been working. Maybe they've never been, sacked from the job before. So they may not have gone through this kind of situation. But there are a lot of people who don't know anybody, who have no connection, and who are looking for jobs, who have written CVs. Sometimes you see them, they hop from they jump out of the trotro, they carry their CVs, and they move from one company to the other, looking for a place to work. And sometimes they become so much hopeless and even curse themselves of ever being born here or ever being called an African. It's a situation, but there's something that you can do, because the thing is that you should not think yourself as the only person with that kind of, who happens to be going through that. A lot of people have gone through that and have overcome it. A lot of people have been in the same kind of situation and move forward and become successful at wherever they are now. So the first years that you don't have job, there is something that you can do yourself. And the thing about it is that if you don't come from a well-to-do family, then that makes it even worse, because then you have to struggle as to what to eat, what to drink, where to sleep, what to wear. And you were so hopeful when you were finishing the school that after school somebody else will get you a job. So let's see, it is a difficult situation to find yourself in, unemployed for years and after school, especially when you see yourself as fit, ready to work, and you want a place to work and nobody wants you. You may be the person who is going, everybody wants to link you to somebody else. They want to link you to the politician who will get you a job, or they want to link you to their uncle, their sister somewhere, and you have tried a lot of them. You have tried 10, 20, 30, and you are like, no, let me give up. It doesn't work. There's no hope anymore. If you want to work, if you want job, then at no point should you ever give up on your quest to look for that job, no matter how uh, uh, bizarre, if that is an English word, the situation may look like. No matter how hopeless the situation may look like, even if you have tried 1,000 places and you have not found that job you're looking for, you cannot give up on yourself, and you cannot fall into depression. You only give up because you think that you have done enough. So somebody sends out maybe 4 CVs, 5 CVs somewhere. Sometimes you may even go through the interviews. All kind of tests that they make people write, as if you never went to school. All kind of interviews that they do, all kind of screening that they do, just because we want to find a place to work. We want to find a job. It's difficult. All kind of words that you will hear from people that you will think will talk to you nicely. Some of them will talk to you like nothing. Maybe it's just the one shirt that you have, and it looks like it's faded. It's nothing, and they don't even know the difficulties that you have gone through. But they talk to you like you are useless, you're nothing. Some of them, you will go there and they will talk to you about the fact that maybe you don't have a first class or second class. They don't know what you have endured. They don't know the pain, because those who have it, when somebody has something, they feel like everybody else has it. And the pain that these people, those who have been in their house at home for years looking for jobs, who don't find, the self-communication, the self-talk is what beats them. And sometimes it's difficult to find somebody in your network who will encourage you to say, keep pushing and never give up. Because some of them can send CVs, maybe 50. And then you have come to, settlement in your heart that, you have come to settle in your heart that in Ghana, it is whom you know. And so when you even pick up the CV, you have already given up, that because nobody else is doing any introduction for you, because nobody else has given you their business card to say that when you go mention my name, it means that you will never find that job. I think proper understanding of the situation is important, that there are many of you looking for jobs. There are many of you looking for jobs, and many of you may not want to do any kind of job at all. Because the thing is that if you are just looking for any job at all, you will have one. Because you can go to any construction field with your degree to say that I want to become a cleaner. And I think that if you're a good one, they will get it. if you want any job at all, you get one. That one is sure. If you go to any cocoa farm anywhere in any village and you say that I want to become a bad day, you want to do, you'll find a place to work. One of the reasons that you are not getting the kind of job that you want is because you have a certain criteria, which is nobody should fight you for that. But when you have been without that job that you've been looking for years, you should come down and look at where else you can enter. You should drop your over exaggeration, of yourself. You should drop that. It's not a put down, but if you have been at home for 4 years, 5 years, you're looking for a job and you don't have it, then any job that comes, forget about the class that you had, the course that you had, forget about your family and whatever prestige that you think you have. If it's a situation that is worrying you, that gets to you, then you should be ready to do anything which is at least legal and morally all right to get into the job market. Because the thing is that really the jobs are there, but some people would have to add some card to some people to get entry. So drop the facade that you have. Sometimes it's the facade, not because the jobs are not there. Sometimes it's the facade, it is the cockiness. Sometimes you are comparing yourself with somebody whose father was a lawyer, whose mother was a doctor, who lived in Accra all their lives. Now you live in a village. Your father was nobody, your mother was nobody, and maybe that's why That's why nobody knows you. That's why nobody wants to give you a job. So there's got to be a build-up that you have to do yourself. Those people that just finished school and they had some introduction somewhere, they are coming from a family that somebody else will give them introduction, say, go and mention my name. Maybe you are the first guy from your village to have gone to Lagos, and nobody knows you. That should not discourage you. The fact that you are somebody to have gone through all these struggles to get to where you are means that you have some fighting spirit. But then you may be without the job because you have a certain measure for yourself, which is good. Have it for yourself. But to enter, you may have to drop it. If you have tried it for 3, 4 years, 5 years, and you still don't have the job that you're looking for, be ready to just enter anyway. It could be teaching, it could be farming, it could be a construction site, it could be security that you have to enter. Anything that you have to enter to get into the job market, you have to enter. Why? Sometimes you are a graduate, so to say, and you become a security person in a place. If you do it well, you don't know who you meet. But if you say that, no, 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 I want to do this kind of course, I can't do this, then that will play a part for you to stay at home for so many years. It means that your understanding of what really the job market is weak. You don't know what it takes to get into the job market. Much of it will be coming from political appointment. Politics, they just the minister gives them the card to say that go and employ this person. So there's a certain portion of the job that is taken by people doing introduction. That's the reality here. And then the people who are creating the jobs are not many. And so for you to find yourself through it, if you have been without it for a while, after all, if the jobs were there, the national service the place that you did your national service, they should have taken you. But they told you that no, 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 their policy is that they have to, let you go so that they can bring in the other people to come and do the same thing that you did. So you have to understand that this is the situation. But don't let the lack of the job destroy, or lack of job destroy your spirit, the quality of your spirit. That if it gets to you, for you to become very negative, paranoid, very pessimistic, then it is hard you. In spite of all the difficulties, in spite of all the people, the places that you have gone, the people that you trusted who promise you, because in Ghana, if you're looking for a job, people will tell you that they have position. This one is my friend. When you go mention my name, they will give you your card, and they may not even know them. A lot of these people will come and talk big for you, and they will give you all kind of promises, and all those maybe didn't work for you. So you now people talk too much. Some people will even take money from you just to connect you to somebody who can give you a job. And after a while, and all those have not succeeded, if you don't take care, you give up on yourself. But you shouldn't. Because the problem is that it's not only in Ghana, all over Africa. As a matter of fact, they say that all over the world, that the youth are looking for jobs. People are looking for jobs that are not there. So I think that it's not because the jobs are not there per se, but people have a very, different standard. Because the same people, when they move from here and they go to another country, they have a job. The job they do, majority of them, security, cleaning, the jobs are there. So if you wanted to do the same kind of things here and enter, but because you have gone to university, you won't do it. Because you have gone to polytechnic, you won't do it. And sometimes that's the reason, that may be part of the reason, why a lot of us have been at home for years, because we didn't have proper understanding of our situation as an individual. You have no network, nobody knows you, and then you raise yourself. That will make you unemployed for a while, for years. Some people have all kind of connections that they fire them today, the next day they have a job. They have introduction. You, for 2 years, nobody has even told you to say that, oh, there's a place that they are giving something, go and try if they will pick you. But somebody, every day they have job offers because of their network. You may not have built that network, and so you have to understand your typical situation. Get proper understanding of it, because the desperation sometimes is because you don't really understand your situation as an individual. You don't understand the job market, and you don't understand, because we have a lot of recruitment companies whose only duty is just to get to go and do interview, and they know that the job is gone anyway. And so if you went through those kind of people, you become sad. It becomes sad. So difficult for those in such situations, and those who are concerned. Sometimes your parents may even make you be more depressed than yourself, because then they go everywhere and say, because you school crowd when you're feeling. And those things can get to your spirit. They should not get to your spirit. You should start to look at the situation differently, because nobody else will change it for you. And you should not be at home expecting your mother to be calling their friends for you to go and drop your CVs. No. If you have to go to 1,000 places, if you have done maybe 50 CVs, and nobody has called you, it doesn't matter. Go and do more. Go and do 100. Continue to drop the CVs and continue to talk. You become better. The first time that you drop the CV somewhere, maybe you were shy. But after you drop the 20th CV, you will know how to talk to those secretaries there. Because some of them will take the CV and just put it somewhere. They will never even give it to anybody. They will not. They will just put it in the dustbin. And so maybe the 50 CVs that you drop, only 50, maybe only 5 got to the right people who could make decision on your CV. So you are telling yourself that you have given out 50 CVs and nobody has called you. But the thing is that those CVs may not have gotten to the right people who may be looking for people like you. So do more. Do more. Go around. It's tough. If you have to walk. Because it's a situation that you have to deal with. It is your call. It's nobody's. Just as you are very much, hardworking in school and looking for the grades and looking for the first class and second class and on all those things. Looking for a job is also work itself. So you have to look at it as a work on your hand. Maybe nobody is paying you, but you are becoming better. You go, you are sad. You go, they don't look at you. You go, they talk to you anyhow. You are building the muscle to go through the process. If it's a job that you want and nobody is connecting you, connect yourself. If everybody is giving 3 CVs, you do 10 a day. If everybody is giving 1 CV a day, you do 20. Go everywhere that you want a job. Well, just tell them that you want a place to work. Go through the business manual, place call to say that, listen, I'm looking for a place to work. You never know who will pick your call. But most people don't do enough. Then they just complain. Because they feel like, because when you're in school, you thought that the jobs were there. The fact is that the jobs, if they are there, you have to go and fight to get them. So get the directorate, go to the internet, call, move there, drop your CV, send some of them electronically. If you send 100 and nobody calls you, send another one. Move around, because that is how it is. If the situation is of major concern to you, you have to change it. And don't wait for anybody. Because those are the realities of life. It's so depressing when you don't know anybody to connect you anywhere to get a job. You have to be ready and make sure that it doesn't get your spirit. Make sure that it doesn't break you. Make sure that it doesn't make you become negative and hopeless. It's tough. It's a situation. Maybe you look around and nobody. You've been borrowing 20 cedis, 30 cedis from everybody. And all this while, you look at your friends and you think that they are becoming somebody, and you look at your situation and you're like, wow. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame anybody. Use the situation as a fuel to keep going. And drop the so-called definitions that you have for yourself. I'm a graduate. I did engineering. I did this. I did pharmacy. I did this. They don't mean anything. If you really want work, there are people who are looking for people who can deliver. Your challenge is that you are not able to identify those people. And sometimes maybe the entry or the entrance that you're using may be so high. If you have to go to some of these security companies to say that I want a place to work, it's not just the money. Forget about the money. You have been at home for 3 years, 4 years. Don't talk about money. Where is the scale? You finish school, you just finish national service. You have not worked anywhere. You can't manage. You don't have any technical experience. No practicality. You don't have. So don't go there be talking about 4,000 a month, 5,000 a month. Don't forget about that. You want entrance. You want to enter the market. If he has to take you security, if he has to take you cleaner, if he has to take you a sales assistant, whatever you think is the basic for you to enter, do. And when you enter, prove yourself. Because the reason why you have not been, you have not been employed is because your network is weak, which means that it's likely you are coming from a place that nobody knows you. You know, those that people know, when they mention their name, they give them jobs. That's how the world is, and don't fight that. If your name is Akufo-Addo and your and your cousin is, you know, all these big names in the country, when you go anywhere and you want a job, they will give you. At least if they place a call to say that my cousin is coming there for a job interview, they will give you. That's the reality. Most of the job people are offering, that's how they get them. Your name, when you mention, nobody knows you. You have nobody. But that should not make you disadvantaged. You just have to have a better strategy to enter if it's the job that you so want. And you can start to develop some of these skills that I'm going to talk about. Because until you clearly understand your situation and you clearly understand the job market situation, you will live in disappointment for years. You will live in disappointment for years because you don't understand it. You don't understand it. You will live. You are living in a dream. You don't understand what it takes to enter. You know, so you're comparing yourself with all your friends. One of the things that you have to do would be sit down and think properly. Develop strong thinking ability. Because now you don't have a job. At least you said that you went to school. Start to think. Plan. Define the situation. Sometimes you may even be the person to employ yourself. Sometimes you have tried everywhere and nobody wants to employ you. Maybe you're unemployable, you know? Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes. But when you start to think and look at situations rightly, you may be able to find a solution because it's a problem that you have to solve. You are looking for a job, nobody wants to employ you. Everybody is trying to connect you somewhere. People have chopped your money, people have connected you here, it didn't work, it dropped here. Sit down. Say that, let's say I've tried all these things, they have not worked. Maybe my strategy is wrong. Maybe I don't understand this whole situation as it has to be. You know, so plan. Sit down, do the thinking yourself, do the maths. Get a book, write, find a strategy because it's a problem that you want to solve. There's no point wanting a job and you being at home for years. And every day everybody is saying that, oh, my son, we are legon, and so you know, and every now and then you hear parents talking like that. There was a time I was going to Kumasi, there was this police officer who stopped me, said that, where are you going? I said, oh, we are going to do this kind of project. I said, oh, wow, take my card. You know, my brother, I took him to university. I paid out of my own little money, and he has finished school and he is in the house for 3 years. He doesn't have any place to go. It's not good. You don't have to sit at home and let them talk like that. Anytime that you go to the kitchen to eat, they are talking. It's not a good situation. Don't put yourself in that situation. Solve it. Just as you are aggressive, looking for the marks on campus, this one is far more important than the grade that you are fighting for. So take it as a project yourself to say that I want to find a place to work and I must get myself employed. You don't just be happy. Sometimes you are comfortable with the situation. That is why it doesn't change. Most people who have been at home for years without jobs is because they are comfortable with the situation, or they have some wrong understanding of why they don't have a job. You know, so a lot of them will believe that some demon somewhere is on them. That's why they don't have a job. You get somebody somewhere who will tell you that they saw God and they saw demon and there is curse somewhere. There's nothing like all those. If you want a job and you fight, you'll get one. You know, so if clarity and proper definition, proper thinking process in terms of the situation around you is so much important. If you buy lies, you know, and you buy falsehood, the situation will continue. So you meet somebody who is not. You say, oh, you know, they told me that I'm the first graduate in the family. That's why all the witchcraft, my uncle's something, my auntie is witchcraft, something. So you know, it's a witch. So that's why I don't have a place to work. That's not true. So if you can clear your head and think properly of the situation and look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. You said that you are dropping your CV. Have you looked at the CV well? Did you write it well? Have you given it to another person to market and criticize it for you? Because sometimes when you are doing job interviews and look at somebody's CV, you don't want to employ them. You don't want to look at them as well. You don't even want to meet them because everything that they put on the CV shows that they are not ready. They say that they have finished university, and yet even the spelling is wrong. Nobody wants to meet somebody like that. Even the English that you put together on the CV is wrong. They look at the envelope that you put that CV in, and they look at the handwriting. If your handwriting is like mine and it's not good, go and get somebody who can address it and package yourself, package it well, present yourself, because everybody is looking for somebody that they will give job to, that they don't have to worry and double think that did I make the right choice. So look at your CV, look at how it is presented, give it to somebody to criticize it and be open. Most of these guys who stay at home for so many years is because they believe that they know everything, and yet everything that you've been doing, if you knew it should work, and they will blame everybody but themselves. That's why sometimes you stay without that opportunity that you think you deserve. So if you can break your spirit a little, and accept that maybe after all what you know is not working, so who else knows? Who do you want to talk to help you? Because sometimes it's just one word that will change your mind and give you a whole different. So the thinking is important. Sit down and plan and think properly. Stop all the entertainment and the sports and all the things and all the excuses and the religiosity and the superstition. Stop them, because a lot of them are part of the reason that you have been at home for all these years looking for a job and you don't have any. It's because your thinking process is not that strong. See it as a problem that you have to solve. See it as a situation that you have to solve. If you don't do that, then you'll be there. See it. See it. It's very much important. Look at the situation. And sometimes, you may be thinking of starting your own. If you do the thinking properly, you may be struck with an idea. Okay. Marie said that some even drop CVs and they don't even add their contact. And we have had a lot of them like that. They brought CV. You look at the CV, it's nice. You want to find them, and no, there's no contact. There's no contact. Some of them even write with their hands. They write their application letter with their hands because they think that they are the only one looking for a job. So maybe if you are that unteachable, or maybe if you're that opinionated and you are that solid in your conviction, then you may not be the person who would have to look for a job. It means that you may have that strength to start something by yourself, because I think that not everybody would have to look for a job, especially looking at your disposition. Some people, they think very independently, and yet they have been pushed to look for a job, and you can know that this person within him or within her, she doesn't want to work for anybody, but she also does not know where to start their own business. So do the thinking well. Think well. You may be the one who would have to start that job and employ some other people. So do the thinking well. That's a major thing. Define the situation. Define your situation. Define the situation of the market. Define the situation of the job market as well. And don't be discouraged if you don't find any. Do look at yourself first than just blaming everybody. Look yourself first than just blaming that there is no job. The Ghana is difficult. We have to go to another country. Look at yourself first. Do you think that you really understand the situation? And do you really think that you even need a job? Do you think that you have that kind of person? Are you that kind of person who can work with somebody or can work for somebody? Do you? Because some people cannot work for somebody. And those people may still be going around looking for a job. But they know deep within their heart that they are not cut for that. The earlier you are able to think through that, the better for you. And then some of the things that you may have to develop will be your ability to present yourself. Present yourself, market yourself, your communication skill. You have to show leadership. If nobody is employing you, can you show leadership? Is your mother the one? Is your mother the person who is always getting you? You know, get up, get up, get up, go and look for work, or you get up yourself to look for a place to work. If everybody is pushing you to go and look for work, you are not a leader. You are not leading yourself. You have let the challenges, the mistakes, the difficulties, you have let those things overcome you. The moment you start to lead yourself, to present yourself, to fight forward, to push, the moment you start to think like that, you can change the situation. And so sometimes it's not the years. Sometimes it's just that you were not equipped enough to handle the situation, or you didn't understand the situation yourself. You know, so you were working with a lot of assumptions. Assumptions as to the number of jobs out there, what you have to do to get the jobs. You know, those are our assumptions. But after a while, your assumptions to prove right or wrong. And if you have been at home for 4 years and you don't have a job, and you still want a job, it means that your assumptions are not right. So you have to calm down and ask the critical questions. And don't blame any demon or spirit or your grandmother somewhere. No. Don't blame anybody. Look, and don't even blame yourself, but look for the solutions with it. Look for the solutions with it, because if you're able to clarify the situation, you will have answers. And sometimes you may be the one to start your own business. Sometimes you may be the one to sit down, pick a pen and paper, and start to write the name of the company that you want to start, the kind of business that you want to do, who you have to contact to get the best deal, who you have to contact to get the first business. Sometimes you may be the one that you'll be waiting for and looking for. A lot of people can help themselves, but they've been looking for the help everywhere. They are going everywhere. They are crying. They are weeping. And sometimes the business is very close to them. But they don't see that because they have not trained themselves to see that opportunity. Because the same job that you are looking for that somebody started, that you have waited for 3 years, 4 years, and nobody is giving you, the same job somebody else has created it. So what makes you think that maybe why? What makes you think that you cannot also create that business? So it's a thinking process. It's a situation. And so my name is Obindako. I'm talking about when you have been unemployed situation. It's a situation. When you have been without job for years, what you can do going forward. And it's a very difficult situation. To meet a gentleman, to meet a lady who has finished school, finished national service, and looking for a place to work, and they have been at home for 6 years, some of them 7 years, some of them 3 years, looking for job. Some of them have gone through all kind of things. Sometimes doctors. There was a time doctors were at home for 4 years or so. I remember there was something like that. It's a situation. And this kind of situation, if you really that much into yourself and you want to succeed, you see that it gets to you. You become depressed, you become weakened, and you become concerned. And you feel like, then why am I here? And that's why some of us will start to look for visa to travel, or some people will start to become all kind of things that society does not want them to become, because the situation is that depressing. That's why sometimes, sorry to say, you can see a young lady who just needs a job and somebody else demanding something that is not appropriate, but because they need the job, so it's a situation, and we cannot just act as if you're not in that situation, you think that is nothing. When you have a job that you're doing and you are paid, you think that everybody has a job, but not everybody has one. There are a lot of people who have finished school, who are at home, who are concerned, who are depressed, and some of them will go back and get another degree. Some of them will go back and get another course. Some of them will just say that, okay, maybe this degree that I even did is useless, so let me go and do computer science or something. Then they go again. Because of what? They are looking for a place to work. The fact is that sometimes it's because we have also raised our standard. Because if you're really looking for a place to work and any work was that good for you, you will find one. You find one. You can become any entry. And what I've seen is that in our country, the jobs They are by mouth, people connect people. So if nobody knows you, then the chances of you not having the job that faster is there. But it does not mean that you cannot get the job. You just have to define your strategy to get to the job market. Because if your uncle is popular on TV, he just picks his phone and say that my something my nephew wants a job. Can you help him? He has mates everywhere, and that's what they do anyway. Or my daughter wants a job, and then now nobody knows you, so your situation is different. They have spent years to build up their social capital. You have not built up. You have not built up any social capital, or maybe you built it in a village, and your father no concern, mother no concern. You have to build that, and sometimes the strategy will be just enter at a very humble, from a very humble level. So you are an engineer. You want to work with Vodafone. You are push, nobody wants to take you. But there's a security company working with Vodafone. Sometimes you may have to just drop the CV to say that I want to become a security officer here. I want to become a security. They pay you 200, 300. But you have a strategy. That's the time that you start to see all these guys. And you never know who you will befriend. The next time they're asking you to drop your CV, because they see the quality of your spirit. They see the vision. They see your strategy. They see that you are humble enough to just go and do this because you wanted to go somewhere. People from that kind of background, that's the strategy that you, or you go and start your own business. But if you're waiting for somebody to connect you, sometimes it may take years, because they keep connecting their children and their nephews and their girlfriends. They will never remember you. So they will take your card, they will take your name, they will take your CV, they go somewhere, they drop it. So you may have given about 6, 7, 20, 50 CVs, and you think that they go to the people who will make the decision, and they didn't. They put it somewhere. So you have to take the responsibility yourself to find a strategy to get to the job market. If you happen to get the one that you're looking for, fantastic. But if you don't, and after years you still don't, then just find a way. Sometimes you just have to become a cleaner. It doesn't matter. Let people see your heart. The next minute you see that the cleaning company is making you a manager, because they will see that you work differently, you think differently, you solve problems. You can deal with the problems and the challenges. They see. And those are the things that everybody is looking for. The next minute you see that another person is looking at how you behave, and you get an offer. You can compress the time that you stay at these levels if you are involved. So what is really important is that you've been in this situation for years, because the only development, the only quality, the only skill that you had was a certificate. But you did not develop yourself as a person. You did not develop your ability to think and solve problems. That's why you have been without jobs for this while. It's very tough, but that's a reality. Because you did not spend time right after school. You counted, or maybe in school, you were still just looking at the course. You were looking for the A and the B, but you never developed your ability to think and solve problems. You didn't develop the way to negotiate, talk, communicate, solve problems. You didn't work on that. You didn't develop on how to even sell, market yourself, how you can lead a team. You didn't, because if you had those, you will know what to say to find a job. If you develop yourself, wherever you are, you create solutions. So sometimes, as accommodating as we will have to be, sometimes we just have to tell you that there are some things that you also didn't focus and build. You didn't build them, and now you are trying to extract that which you didn't put in yourself, and it's not there. And that's why people stay at home for years, because they did not develop themselves. They were looking for help outside. You don't look for help outside. You create the help yourself. Especially when you don't know anybody who is ready to connect you anyway. And for me, you don't need anybody to connect you anyway. If you want to, because when they connect you, you have to show that you have what it takes. The connection will come if they are good people. But if they connect you, do you think that you have developed yourself enough to take up the challenge? So be a person of, be a good-hearted person. Be honest. Develop these things. Be somebody who is not complaining. When they give you something to do, you do it with cheerfulness of heart and face and smile. And don't be the person who is looking for that which you have not worked for. You're greedy. When you become greedy and looking for money, nobody wants to help you. Nobody wants to show up to vouch for you. So these are the things that you can. Because one way or the other, somebody else, there will be a link somewhere. By all means, there will be something that will link you to the next phase that you want to go. But are you ready? Are you good? Or you are dishonest? Are you trustworthy? Can you think? Can you solve problems? Can you be dependent upon? Do you run away from challenges and difficulties, or you stay? I think these are the things that you continue to develop if you want to reduce the years that you have stayed at home. Other than you talking and being negative and complaining about our country and what is not good and what is this and is whom you know and all those things that you continue to talk about, I would rather want to focus on building capacity myself, building my ability to think and solve problems, building my ability to work with people, building my ability to lead myself, to solve problems, to overcome challenges, difficulties, and never let those things eat your strength away. If you can do that, the unemployment that you think is a problem may actually not be a problem. It may be a starting point for you. Because people have overcome this, people have gone through this and overcome that. But you have to light your spirit up. You have to be positive. You have to be, you have to see the future that you want and work towards it. Don't let the fact that you don't have a job be the world that you live in. Because it's a problem that you have to solve. And if you're developing your skills, you would have solved that problem long ago. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. So it should not disturb you. Fight and you'll be fine. Thank you.